Hi. Before I start this video, I would like to say I might be a little biased. Most likely am a little biased. I'm a big Tron fan. I got a Flynn cap. I got the Flynn shirt on. And Tron has had a big impact on my life. It got me into motorcycles and home labbing. Like, behind me, I have like 3 monitors, and I'm working on building my own home lab and everything. So I do really like Tron. So I had high expectations for Tron Ares. And I know you shouldn't have too high of expectations, so I definitely lowered them because, in my opinion, Tron Legacy is one of the top five like best movies. That's my opinion, though. I think it is amazing, and I don't think they'd hold a candle to the first one. Maybe that's personal glazing, but I just think it was amazing with Daft Punk, it's with the music and everything. So going into Tron Airs, I didn't expect it to be as good. And I did like the movie. If I rated it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it a 7, but most people pick 7. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, removing the 7, I would rate Tron Airs probably a 6. And I'd like to talk about where they messed up, in my opinion. Once again, I might accidentally be biased. Now, before that, I would like to say, along with me, oh, my monitor turned off, my bad. Along with me potentially being biased, um, I'm not a film expert. I haven't made movies before. I appreciate films. I've been creating short videos on different channels, short little films since I was about 8 years old. I like to think I know a little bit about filming, but I probably don't. But I watch a lot of movies, and I really appreciate stories. So this is kind of just my opinion on Tron Airs. Now, getting into it, I'm going to spoil a few things. At first, I'll try not to spoil anything, and then I'll give you a disclaimer before I spoil anything. I'm currently recording this at 1:30 a.m. I just got out of the movies. It was the first showing they had. It is October. It was Thursday when I went in. I went in to watch it at like 11 p.m. and now it's the next day. It's 1:30 a.m. Um, I went with a bunch of friends. We're all really excited, jamming to the Tron track on the way there. And when we got there, we were super stoked. I think the intro to Tron Ares was great. Things they did right was they had a good amount of build up, which was awesome. They had some really cool visual design as well. I really liked that. I think they had solid actors, and I think they had a good concept. Now, the issues they did have was there was too much build up on too many things. They should have narrowed it down. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. The actors did great, but the action scenes were really slow. It felt in parts like it was in slow motion. It was the choreography wasn't superb, but to be fair, in Tron Legacy, there are quite a few scenes where the choreography is also a little slow. And the ending was just, it felt rushed. It was just a bit off. Um, and I don't know how to explain it. It feels like at the very end of creating the movie, they were like, oh, wait, we need more money, so we have to make another movie after this. So we quickly have to give multiple variables so people will want another movie. That's really how the ending felt. It was just a little odd. And now I am going to spoil it. I kind of have to spoil it to talk about it. And I'm like probably one of the first people to see it. So if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Sorry guys. Before I spoil, it was a good movie. I still liked it. It just wasn't as invigorating as the original Tron. Not the original Tron Legacy. The original Tron's really good too, but it wasn't as encouraging as Tron Legacy. Now back to the errors that they had, in my opinion, was number one. They had a good amount of build up, but they were building up too many things. And what I mean by this, I'm going to explain the movie really quickly, okay? So the movie there is Ecom, right, which is Flynn made Ecom, right? And then there's a new company introduced into the ball field, the game, called Diligent. Now, Ecom and Diligent are kind of fighting head for head. They're head to head companies, right? Just how like Nintendo and Sega used to be. Um, AI and the grid is kind of a known thing now. It doesn't exactly tell us what time the movie takes place at, but we get an idea that it does take place after Tron Legacy. Maybe a couple years after, maybe like a decade or two after Tron Legacy. I think it takes place around 2025. Pretty sure I saw that at one point in the movie. It takes place in 2025, right? So that's cool. So it continued the story, but it didn't continue the story of Tron with the same characters, which I wasn't against because cool, we get to see more of the world of Tron. You know, I think that's great. Now, Diligent and Ecom are in a race. They both have invented technology to take things out of the grid. You know those the motorcycles in Tron Legacy in the real world now. You know the spaceships in Tron Legacy in the real world now. They both can do this. The only issue is items or programs that are brought to the outside world only last 28 minutes, 29 minutes, right? Now that's an issue because it doesn't last for long and then it dereses, breaks down, and goes back into the program. So they're in a race to try and find a, what was it called? A permanence code so things will last forever. Now, Diligent is pretty quickly made out to be the villain. The guy running it is a arrogant young man, probably mid 20s, late 20s, and he is willing to do anything to get the code to be the first one to have permanent things outside of the grid. He's already showing it to government. He's trying to get backing to help him. He's lying to them. He's saying that things can stay outside of the grid permanently, but they can't yet. Now, Ecom, you know, Flynn's, is now run by two twin sisters, or two sisters, and spoiler, one of them died. Like, before the movie started, we just slowly get to see that, oh, yeah, she's passed already. And they're finding Flynn's code, and they find it. They find Flynn's code so they can take things and make them permanent outside of the grid. Okay, first off, it was really slow build up to get there, and they built it beautifully. Good job. I like that a lot. Now, the issue was that could have been the whole movie in itself, or the main thing I think should have been the main movie is Diligent, the evil company over here. They, the guy in charge, had a fully sentient AI that gained full sentience, but Diligent was like evil to him, and he wanted to be free. So he gets out of the grid and tries to find the permanence code so he can be human. And it was great. It was beautiful. We got to see him build up, experience emotions, and then at the end, fall in love. Right? Beautiful. Did great. The issue, it was also focused on one of the sisters. The other issue, it was also focused on another AI from Diligent trying to kill one of the sisters. The other issue, it was also kind of focused on Diligent, the guy in charge, who's losing control of the AIs and losing his company, while Ares is trying to gain emotional freedom as a human, and this girl is trying to set things right and get the code and help Ares, and it just kind of got all tangled up. I think it split the perspective a little too much. Whereas if they just focused on the perspective of Ares, that's the guy's name, that's the AI that wanted to gain freedom. If it just focused on the concept of Ares trying to escape Diligent, right? The guy in charge of him. This is Diligent, okay? This is Ares, and this is the Ecom. This is the girl. If it just focused on Ares escaping Diligent, the evil company, and trying to go to Ecom and get the permanence code so he could be human, beautiful. It would have been great. But they threw in so many different variables and it made it feel clunky. It didn't make it feel smooth. And I don't think that's just an issue with Tron. I think that's an ongoing issue with all movies recently. Frankly, they don't make movies or games as good as they used to. And maybe it's because I'm more stingy, but I think a big reason is we have technology where we can pump movies out using different programming softwares a lot faster. And because we can make movies a lot faster, our budget's going higher to use this technology to make it faster, but there's not as much time to smooth out bumpy parts. I think movies, the process of making a movie should be like a fine wine. Anytime I've made a film, yeah, I can get it done in like a week. But I'll spend like 3, 4 weeks, which still isn't a long time, but this is for like a 3 minute, 3, 4 minute clip. And I go through it and I watch it and I'm like, oh, what if I did this? And I watch it, oh, what if I did this? And it builds on itself until eventually it becomes a smooth transition of motion. Now, the issue they did have is the buildup was great, but it was building up Air's story, the girl's story about her company and people with her, Diligent's story as well, and kind of a little bit of like the grid and how it's different now. And they could have incorporated that well. They took their time kind of building up the girl and Airs, and it was like, it was solid. But then the middle section, the climax, if you will, kind of all butted heads together. It was really dramatic, but it felt a little It felt anticlimactic, for sure. The ending was anticlimactic. It was like, that's it. There was a lot of buildup, and then the middle section was going smooth. It started getting clunky, and then the end, it kind of felt like it came to a grinding halt. Like, oh crap, we're out of budget, or oh crap, we don't have enough time. So in the end, I'm going to spoil it. Airs, the AI that works for Diligent, got into the ecom software with the help of the girl, right? And he found an old like AI or an old version of Flint. This guy, right? Flint, who made ecom. He got the permanence code while talking to Flint. Well, while doing that, Diligent over here lost control of the AIs that he created, and they kept coming into the real world. One of them called Athena. I'll have Athena over here. Right, this is Athena. And Athena was trying to get the girl that controlled ecom because she had the permanence code inside of her, so that she could make things that come out of the grid permanent, right? But they were trying to get the twin girl, Athena and Diligent were at first. They were trying to get her into the grid, so she'd be in the grid, in the software, and they would de-res her. They'd practically kill her to get the code. So then she's just gone. She's dead. And at first, Diligent was like, "Oh well, let's do it." This arrogant teen guy, and then he was like, "Wait, no, I don't want to do that." But at that point, Athena, the AI he let out, had lost control and was going psycho, like overtaking the city to try and find her and kill her. And she was trying to get heirs in the her grid for ecom so he could find a permanence code and become human. And then Diligent was kind of on his own thing, losing his mind. And it was really just like, what? So then what ended up happening is we had four split perspectives, okay? We had the girl with Ecom. We had Airs, who was inside Ecom's grid. And this was all at the end, kind of like quick. It felt like a lot of the movie was relying on camera angles, rather than anything else, like action. At one point, I got dizzy because there's so much camera turning, but that's just me. So sorry, girl. We're focusing on the girl, okay? While it's jumping between Airs, who's inside of Ecom's grid, trying to find permanence. While we're watching Diligent, this arrogant guy, like, kind of lose his mind, kind of lose everything, because the AIs he let out are now out of control. And then we have Athena, this girl who's the AI that got out of hand, trying to kill this girl. So it's jumping between four perspectives, pretty much. And it's so fast and rapid, and it doesn't give time to build upon that. We get a lot of build up on this girl for ecom, kind of a Diligent and Airs. but it's like the climax is too thin. There's too many things to focus on. You can't get the full grasp of what's to come or what's going strong, right? And it kind of just grinds together. It's not smooth. And then in the end, Ares gets the code and becomes permanent. He becomes human. The girl is beat up. Athena, the AI, is killed, and Diligent, the cops are coming for him to arrest him. His mom died. He lost his company. He lost everything, right? Well, the girl and Ares are talking at the very end. She's like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know. Explore the world. I have some ideas." And she's like, "Okay." And she stands up, and then the cops come, and she looks back, and Ares is gone now. So he's out of the picture now. Athena, the AI that went out of control, she just died. She got killed. So she's out of the picture now. So now I have Diligent and the main girl from Ecom. Diligent was just losing it. And then the lasers were trying to activate his whole operating system, the grid. His grid got shut down. And the cops burst in to arrest him, and he uploads himself to the grid. So now he's stuck in the grid, right? Athena's dead. All his programs are dead. He's stuck in the grid now, and Ares is gone. And then this girl is like, well, that's how I got the permanence code. And then it shows like little windows of like what she did. She's like, we can now have like medicine for cancers that were uncurable, and we can like solve world hunger and stuff. And then it shows she gets a postcard from Ares, the AI, and he's like, I've been exploring the world. I don't think the world's ready to see me yet, but I have an idea of someone who will make them ready. And then it like cuts with him riding a motorcycle into the sunset, and then it shows Diligent, the evil, arrogant guy, inside the grid, his grid, and it's all just completely destroyed. And he's like looking at like a grid that's like completely destroyed. Everything's like on fire and everything, and he's stuck in the grid. He's literally stuck there by himself, no programs. And he like grabs like the master key disc, and then he gets like samurai program armor and starts yelling, and then it cuts, and like that's the end. And it felt odd. Now the soundtrack wasn't bad, right? It wasn't as good as Daft Punk. It didn't get you like, oh, oh. And the action wasn't consistent. It was so jumpy because there's like four perspectives it felt like it was trying to focus on that it didn't have time to build up. In my opinion, it should have just focused on Ares trying to escape Diligent. Right. He's escaping his company, and the company wants him back because he's the first fully automatic, like full sentient AI. So he wants to become human. And Diligent is kind of evil. He's like, no, you're not human. You're my master key program. And then the girl in Ecom's like, I'll help you become human. Let me help you escape. That, in my opinion, that's what it should have been focused on. Like, if it just picked one thing, it would have been really good. But they focused on several things. And then the end was like clunky. It all clunked together. And it was like, how can we make this our next movie? It wasn't smooth. It's like they wrote it out on a storyboard and they're like, oh yeah, let's go with this, right? But you never stick to the original or like the original version because things change and you got to adapt, and that's what makes it smooth and what gives movies its flavor. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't have that flavor. They didn't let it age. Um, it was still good. I still like it. I didn't expect it to be as good as Tron. I was just like hoping it'd be like a new top 10 favorite movie. And I can't say that it was. It still got me excited, like, because of the concept. It's like, oh yeah, I want to like get better at coding and making my own websites on neo.ceti. But it didn't get me like, let's like change some stuff. Let's like be freaking awesome, like bad to the bone. You know, it was just like, yeah, that was a pretty good movie, you know. Um, and I was hoping it'd be good, but I was going in with a clean slate. Still a good movie. I'd still recommend you watch it. Tell me how you feel about it. Sorry, I yapped for a long time. It just wasn't smooth, and it feels like with all movies and games coming out now that we've gotten to the point where everything is much easier to use because of programming, that we can't take our time with certain things. And because of that, not everything can age like a fine wine. Um, Everything's more rushed now. They can't take their times with things, and it makes everything feel slightly more like a cash grab. I'm not saying it was a cash grab. I still think it was a pretty good movie. It was a pretty good movie. Um, I'd probably watch it like one more time, but that's it. You know, just to see if my opinion changes. But they didn't allow it to smooth itself out, and they tried focusing on too many things. And that's what I see all movies doing now. It's all of them feel jumpy now, and I don't know why. So I kind of gave my theory why I think things are too easy to make now. Almost, it doesn't have that human element to it. But if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it this far. This is just me ranting at almost 2 a.m. now. So, anyways, that was my opinion on Tron Ares. I just wanted to make a video because why not? I think it was cool and I want to talk about it more. I love Tron. I like talking about Tron more. I want to do more cool stuff like Tron. It's still a good movie. I recommend you go watch it. Tell me how you feel about what you liked about, what you didn't like about, and where you think they could have improved and where you think they did good. So, yeah, I think that's all. I'm gonna go to bed now. So, God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.